Barigani, my brothers and sisters, Barigani. What's the news? I welcome you to day two of Kwanzaa, Kujichaglia. Day two of Kwanzaa. It's wonderful to be alive. It's wonderful to be alive. To sense all of these things happening in this critical part of our life and time. So, more to share with you today. It's important that we understand that Kwanzaa represents something important. You understand the concept of epe, two interlocking handcuffs from the Akan people. It says that you are the prisoner of whose handcuff you wear. Hmm? Whatever you believe, whatever ideas that you hold on to. We also know that man makes God. Then God reciprocates by making man. What we mean by that is that man articulates a concept of God. Then that concept shapes our lives. We create. We have the capacity to create. And then that which we create recreates us. So then Kwanzaa, as we celebrate day two, must remind you it's a non-religious celebration of the last 7 days of the year. From January 26th right through to January, should I say December 26th through to January 1. It provides us with an enriching way to process and enhance. That period represents the end of the old and the beginning of the new. So we're ready and able to move into that which is important to us. Kwanzaa, we call this time the time when the edges of the year meet. The old year and the new year. I can't think of a better way to spend the last week of the year, preparing my mind and body and spirit for the new, a time to celebrate, a time of focus, a time of assessment as we go forward. By way of summary,
the second day of Kwanzaa, Kujichaglia, self-determination. The third day of Kwanzaa, we call it Kujima, collective work and responsibility. The fourth day of Kwanzaa, we call it Kujama, cooperative economics. The fifth day of Kwanzaa, we call it Leah, purpose, purpose. I have a purpose. The sixth day of Kwanzaa, we call it Kuumba, creativity, creativity. The last day of Kwanzaa, we say Imani, that's what we call faith. Kwanzaa, Kwanzaa, celebration. Kwanzaa, Kwanzaa, celebration. Kwanzaa, Kwanzaa, celebration. Kwanzaa, Kwanzaa, celebration. Celebration.
Oh yes. Now, yesterday we started out with the day one, huh? Which Umoja, and I'm not telling you that we're gonna do this every day, all the days of Kwanzaa, so you can tell your friends and associate that at least one person is trying to keep this alive. I have celebrated Kwanzaa since 1970. Since 1970. I lived in the US between 69 and 81. And in 1970, I discovered Kwanzaa and it became a part of my life because I realized that this is the most critical way to spend the last week of the year. Let the Christmas traditions hmm, take those who want to do that. I don't spend a penny for Christmas. And those who want to stay drunk and disorderly for the entire week of the holiday, me not in that with them. But we can use this time to re-energize ourselves, make us the best version of ourselves. Now, for the last couple of years, I've been using social media as a mechanism. Before we used to gather at my house. I remember one day we gathered at Muta Maruka's house and Sister P's house. Different ones of us way back in the 80s. Michael Lawrence's house. But then people have gone different ways and so on. But given the thanks of social media, listen, if Marcus Garvey could have done what he did 100 years ago without anything called social media, just by his thoughts and his words and his publications, we have no excuse. So I'm using the tools that I have. So remind your friends and associates, anyone you know may be interested in this, that every day we'll do a live. And it's be on multiple platforms. Right now, it will be on Facebook, it will be on Twitter, it will be on YouTube, it will be on LinkedIn, so that we can share the good news. Now, today is day two, Kujichaglia. There's some questions. Kujichaglia refers to self-determination. Hmm? Questions for reflection. Does your name define you? That's very important, folks. We know how we African people got our names. I did something about mine, and I have purposely and deliberately named all my children carefully. There's an African saying that we consider the state of our affair before we name our children. Leahcim Semaj is the one who came with the storm to turn things around. Mandela Garai Semaj, my eldest son, Mandela, why I named him that? He was born July 18, the same day as Nelson Mandela. So it sets a pattern. My other son, Hassani Kamau, Chinua Semaj, one who brings joy and beauty to a situation. My daughter, Najiri. My daughter, Naita. My daughter, Isis. My daughter, Janae. All the names that have empowered them to be the best version of themselves. Does your name reflect your ambitions? Does it conflict with who you are as a person? Are gender norms strongly reflected in a way that make you feel misrepresented? Well, because I am a girl, I can't do that. I'm a boy, I can't do this, and so on. Do you feel limitations by how people have positioned you? Does it connect you to a past you'd rather forget? Or does it propel you forward to a dream you're working to make a reality? We have the options to correct this, folks. We can, we will, and we should. On this day, we celebrate self-determination. Self-determination. So, what is this about? Huh? What is this about? What is so critical about self-determination? Well, if you don't speak for yourself, guess what? Someone else will. Self-determination requires that we define our common interests and make decisions that are in the best interest of our family and our community. There's a wonderful quote from Nelson Mandela that we have incorporated into the Kujichaglia celebration. He says that as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. So you don't small up yourself. You don't make yourself any less. It doesn't make anybody any bigger when you make yourself small. There's a beautiful Jamaican saying, big up yourself. Big up yourself. Make the most of who you are. Let the world recognize that. A true self-determination. It is said, if I didn't define myself for myself, I would be crushed into other people's fantasies for me and eaten alive. I must define myself. I must speak for me. Nobody has the right to speak for themselves and also for me. Maybe when I was a child, my parents had that responsibility. But then it was the passed on to me to speak for myself. And that self becomes broader now. My, my family. Do we as a family represent ourselves? Do we as a community represent ourselves? Do we as a nation represent ourselves? We have long passed with this thing called slavery and colonization. We are free people and we need to act in such a manner. It is God that said that a people without the knowledge of their past history, origin, and culture is like a tree without roots. The Honorable Marcus Messiah Garvey. So, what's involved in Kujichaglia? We want to make sure that parenting for liberation trips to places that our people are doing well. So we can take our children places where they can experience positive culture. The Akan people of Ghana traditionally name their children after the day of the week they were born. These day names have further meanings concerning the soul and character of the person. This naming tradition is shared throughout West Africa and the African diaspora. So research exactly the day you were born. And we do this in a very subtle way in Jamaica, I was born the night of a hurricane, Hurricane Charlie. And my grand people in the community in Desire, always refer to me as Storm Baby, Stormy. So when I hear somebody say Stormy, I know you knew me from was a baby growing up in the hills of Clarendon. There's another African saying, that tradition that as you move through life, you take on different names because people see certain spirit in you. And if you realize that almost every Jamaican, just as in traditional West Africa, you have a public name and a private name. Those who know you from high school know you a different thing than those who know you. Worse yet, if you were at the University of the West Indies, you have a hall name. People who met you there. When you get married, oftentimes you take on another name. So that naming is absolutely critical. So we have to make sure we continue that tradition in the best way we can. We speak for ourselves. We define ourselves, name ourselves, create for ourselves, speak for ourselves instead of being defined, named, created for, and spoken for by others. It's about time, my brothers and sisters. Don't accept the limitation of any present or past government policies. Don't get sucked into the fashion of the day. It is now fashionable to say, I am dunce, I am fully dunce. Never was, never will be. Be willing to set your own agenda. Go where no one has been. Take risk and be disruptive. We're not here to fit in. We're here to shine and stand out and be the best that we can be. Worse yet, to teach your children to try to fit in to other people's agenda. We're here to shine. Ellen Johnson Sirleaf says, the size of your dream must always exceed your current capacity to achieve them. If your dreams do not scare you, they are not big enough. So, what are your dreams for 2023? I have some incredible dreams in terms of what I wish to achieve, my intentions and desires. I make sure that I remind myself every morning as I rise what they are. Before I go to sleep, I remind myself of what they are. I have images in my office on the wall. I have a board at the very top. I have the numbers that I intend to achieve this year. I have a saying I got from Tiger Woods. I see the line. You know, on a golf course, you see a line, an imaginary line where the ball is gonna. I have a quote I got from my good friend Gussie Clark. I smell the money. I smell the money. And I have decided there are two main projects that we're working on this year. One is this thing I call anchor leg. I have developed a very powerful method for coaching people approaching or in retirement to be the best version of themselves, to go through the anchor leg of life, the best that they can be. The problem we have now with the ankle leg for many people, at best, they may have put together some money. So they have some retirement planning from that standpoint. But in terms of the social and psychological adjustment to the ankle leg, many people are not doing well. We have that locked. And then we have ways of now how do we expand opportunities for people? We're working on some incredible methods to make the pie bigger for more people. You'll be hearing more about them. If the size of your dreams don't scare you, they're not big enough. We have some big, scary dreams working on. I hope you are too. Use this week, use this day to re-evaluate the size of your dreams, reassess. So, in summary, this week, the week of Kwanzaa,
Kwanzaa, Kwanzaa, celebration. Kwanzaa, Kwanzaa, celebration. The first day of Kwanzaa, we call it Umoja, unity, unity. The second day of Kwanzaa, Kujichaglia, self-determination. The third day of Kwanzaa, we call it Ujima, collective work and responsibility. The fourth day of Kwanzaa, we call it Ujama, cooperative economics. The fifth day of Kwanzaa, we call it Leah, purpose, purpose. I have a purpose. The sixth day of Kwanzaa, we call it Boomba, creativity, creativity. The last day of Kwanzaa, we say Imani, that's what we call faith. Kwanzaa, Kwanzaa, celebration. Kwanzaa, Kwanzaa, celebration. Kwanzaa, Kwanzaa, celebration. Kwanzaa, Kwanzaa, celebration.
I thank you very much for sharing this experience with me. And we're going to do this every morning for the rest of the Kwanzaa week. The Normally what I do in the morning, the first thing I do is my morning meditation. Then of course I make a 1 cup of Blue Mountain coffee, huh? My favorite. And then I hit the road. I do a morning 5K, some mornings 7, and then I go to the gym 3 mornings a week. But this morning I shifted it. It's kind of raining where I am, so I said, let me do my broadcast first, so I can share the information with folks. But then this will be on all my platforms, and so folks can share the information. Knowledge is best given away, is best shared. It strengthens everyone. So if you look at yesterday's broadcast, we covered the entire thing, the summary, the history of what Kwanzaa is about. What we're going to do for the rest of the week is just each day just give one piece. So, folks, today, Kujichaglia, self-determination. Define yourself. Name yourself. Speak for yourself. Set your dreams for yourself. What will next year be? Call it into being. If you can't name it, you can't claim it. Call it into being. Evaluate the year that is gone, what mistakes were made, what lessons were learned, what do you do going forward? What do you do going forward? Self determination. You have that capacity. We all have that capacity. No one has the right to live their life and yours at the same time. No, no, no. You don't give anybody that opportunity. You have that responsibility. So have a wonderful day. Make the most of this day, this week, as we use this week to prepare for the year that is to come. Have a wonderful day. Have a great day. Have a productive day. Hey, Sharon Hay Webster. Long time we don't talk, my sister. Hmm? Long time we don't talk. Share the good news, folks. Share the good news.